Nico here, and well, it's just a few more hours till 2026 rolls around. At least where I am. There's probably a good chunk of the world out there that's already had New Year's, that's already happened. I know, like, one person I have some contact with um, messaged me about it, and I guess their New Year already started. It's still about 5.5 hours away from my time, and I'm gonna try and do this as relatively fast as I can to try and do this as just a quick thing before I go to my own New Year's party. But just wanted to say, hope everyone has a good New Year, and I wish the best for everyone out there. Hope this New Year brings some things that you want or need. And I forgot to mention this at the beginning. Yeah, I got some random Monster Hunter Wild gameplay going on in the background, just as a little something to see. Keep a little interest, I guess. I don't know. But I wanted not only to wish you all the best year that you can possibly have, but I wanted to kind of run down some things I have in mind, and I guess in addition, one of the things revolves around like one of my New Year's resolutions. So I know I got things planned for March. I know there's gonna be a time there where I'll be focusing a lot on the new Monster Hunter Stories 3 game. And of course, if anything Wilds related shows up before or certainly afterwards, like if the expansion comes along, you know I'm gonna hop on that. But I've been kind of thinking, like, while I have enjoyed streaming and whatnot, I'm not sure, at least for right now, that that's for me, really. I might still give it a try come March with Monster Hunter Stories 3, potentially, but, like, overall, streaming just doesn't really feel like my kind of thing. Like, I've already decided for myself that unless there's some new content and something I haven't really done before, that I'm not just going to be streaming Monster Hunter if I've already done something. Like, I don't have the kind of skills to make something like make it interesting enough for for being a solo stream in Monster Hunter if it's not something new. Like, I guess I still haven't faced the higher rank, the event quest GOG yet, so I could potentially do that, see how much of a difference that one is from regular version. But the only way I could see myself streaming stuff like Monster Hunter is if I had people, and that's one thing that's also keeping me from streaming in general, is because I just don't feel it would be nearly as entertaining without other people. And and I guess, like, in one way, like, I am talking about, like, people playing with, that would certainly help, especially co-op games, but, like, I don't really have much of a following to have people on regularly enough to keep things interesting in chat either. Only when I have, like, specific games. Like, I have fairly decent chats during some stuff of Final Fantasy, but I don't play Final Fantasy that much. And there are definitely times where I want to do something else. So, I don't know. my career with Twitch streaming, I'm not entirely sure how that's gonna go. I'll still give it a try here and there, but there might be something where I just mainly stick with like YouTube or something, especially with like my New Year's resolution, which is I'm wanting to try to get back into active editing, posting, stuff like that. Because I have been slacking for a very long time. I just keep recording and recording and recording stuff. I have a literal pile of hard drives with videos, but I just never get to go around to editing and posting them. I would love to potentially find someone to edit my videos for me, but I just don't know like the areas to look, and I don't know. But there's one other kind of resolution, and that has to do with something I have planned in the works. Kind of a review system in a way, but like I just give my honest opinions about the game and like review it from my standpoint, which I mean some other people do, like other reviewers definitely do. But I want to try to have my own little twists in it, like little skits thrown into it, and try to make it a little more unique, I suppose. And I've been getting stuff that that can potentially help. Like, I guess I can show you real quick. I'll pause this and, alright, so I'll show you one group just so you have a basic idea. Now I gotta open with, because for some reason, I don't know why, but anytime I try to open pictures, it opens them in Notepad, which is so dumb, but whatever. Yeah. Okay, I can switch. And I can switch like that. Alright. So, I got these stickers to help give a little more uniqueness with the videos I have planned, with a bunch of different emotions and poses and whatnot. So yeah, I think you get the basic idea. So that's kind of involved with my idea for the videos, and one of the big things that I'm debating on right now is what exact game to start with. Because I want to try to have it combined with, like, ideally I want to have my own gameplay with it. Whether it's like from my original playthroughs, when I've recorded, or for some games that I played them but never recorded or anything, just go back and play through them. I'd like to have my own recordings and not have stuff taken from like stock footage from like other people's videos. There might be some, like, especially like PlayStation 2 games where that's gonna be a little unavoidable, but we'll see if ever I get to stuff like that. But I know I want to cover stuff like Monster Hunter and other games like Assassin's Creed and such, but there's also one thing that I want to do that I feel will add a little bit more uniqueness. And I've also been kind of like debating on names. Like, one of the names I'm thinking of right now, like the naming of the review stuff, is kind of like Miko's Opinions or something, since it's based on my opinions. But I don't know, That might be the name I go with, but I'm still kind of workshopping stuff that might work better. But I kind of like that name since it's like short, sweet, to the point, and whatnot. Not too complicated, but we'll see. If I think of something better, I'll use that. But the one thing I want to do to help add a bit more uniqueness is have another category of reviews where I take one game and then compare it with another. So it would be like Miko's opinion versus, or something. It might deserve its own other title, but basically, I would take one game like Monster Hunter World and then compare it with another game, whether it be within the Monster Hunter franchise or a whole different game itself. Like, I want to do something where it's like Monster Hunter versus Wild Hearts, because it's a similar game, but what I think would be better, and at like the end I would be, and for some games I might just go ahead and say like which game I think is better or not, because like that's kind of the established idea of like a lot of people, but sometimes I might like keep that to the end and give my honest opinion about. For a lot of games, I imagine I'll be saying that I would recommend both, but if you had to choose one or the other, then I tell you which one I think would be worth getting more. So yeah, that's kind of my idea, and one thing about it that I've kind of thought about is like I would like to do Monster Hunter versus like some other categories, and the ones that obviously fall to me are World, Rise, and Wilds. But thinking about it, like if I were to do something like World and then World versus Rise and then either World versus Wilds or Rise versus Wilds, that kind of stuff could be a little repetitive. So I think with stuff like that, I would probably have it where it's World versus Rise versus Wild. So I just compare them all in the same one, so it's not too repetitive. I'm not saying the same things in different videos. So it can just be one big thing, and I'd tell you like which of the three I would get if I were starting in the Monster Hunter franchise, or if somehow you haven't played any of them, then which to start with or continue with if you've played some of the older ones. But yeah, that's kind of my ideas for what I want to do with the future of this channel. And I feel like the reviews could do fairly well as long as I do them as well as I want to, and I kind of got the stickers to help with that, try and make it a little more interesting. And I don't know, there's some like little things that I'm thinking of to try and make it a little more funny or whatnot, because I definitely want to add a little humor into the mix from even my just reviewing. There's certainly things like Monster Hunter World and Rise and Wilds that I want to include stuff that I recorded, especially with friends, to kind of highlight and just add a little comedy to some things and correct things that even they got wrong. But yeah, that's more or less my ideas for the future of this channel. So we'll see. I might try to start with this before I go back to work from this break, to try and set the gears in motion for the video ideas, because like I have a couple ideas of what I want to do to start with. Like the first review thing, the first review video I make. I have a couple ideas, and I'm probably gonna go with one over the other, because for one of the ideas it involves one thing I want involves something else that I have yet to get, so might just go with that, and it would honestly make the most sense. So we'll see. But I feel I've blabbed on enough, and I gotta start getting ready to go to the party myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little update, and I especially hope you all have a tremendous new year. I hope you all stay safe, and I hope if you make New Year's resolutions yourselves, I hope you can stick by them, and I hope this year goes for you in the best ways that it possibly can. Sorry, I can't speak words sometimes. So, with all that being said, have a happy new year, and I'll see you in 2026, I guess. Bye bye. I don't know how exactly. Side note, I don't know exactly how long this Sophia is gonna last. I didn't really expect to talk through the entire hunt, but it's getting pretty close. I think it's on the last moments of when we're still somewhat alive, being a construct and whatnot, but I think I do win this. We seem to be doing well enough. I'd skip 30 seconds. It's probably going to be dead when I click this. Yep, I knew it. Well, we won. Spoilers. Have a happy new year, everyone. See ya.